I can't sit down after last night. Human, you used me wrong instead of pleasing me. Alien general. The war was over, but the tension wasn't. The ceasefire had been signed only days ago, and yet the scars of centuries between humans and the Veari ran too deep to fade overnight. I had been stationed at the Veari capital as part of the fragile peace delegation, an unarmed human among warriors who had spent their lives hating my kind. And none hated us more than General Erishaw. Or so I thought. The night before, Erishaw was unlike any warrior I had met. Tall, statuesque, her skin a pale metallic sheen under the dim lights of the war council chambers. Her eyes, bright as molten silver, burned with authority. She commanded armies with a gesture, shattered fleets with a single order. For months, we'd circled each other, first with hostility, then begrudging respect, and finally, something else. The night before had been the culmination of everything unspoken between us. Anger, longing, loneliness, and need. But what I thought had been mutual had clearly gone wrong. The morning after, I woke in her quarters, the air heavy with silence. Erishaw stood by the window, dressed in her ceremonial black and crimson armor, back to me. Her silver hair cascaded down her shoulders like a waterfall of light. When she turned, her expression was unreadable until she spoke. I can't sit down after last night, she said flatly. Human, you used me wrong instead of pleasing me. My stomach dropped. Wait, what? You fought me as if I were an enemy, she continued, voice low but sharp. No patience, no understanding, no care. I scrambled for words. I thought I didn't know. That is clear. Her gaze was like a blade. You humans rush into battle and into everything else. You conquer instead of learn. The cultural divide. I hadn't realized until then how different our peoples were, not just in war, but in intimacy. The Veari treated closeness as sacred, an act of mutual harmony rather than conquest. For them, every gesture carried meaning. Every touch was a vow. For me, raised in the chaos of human wars, closeness had always been desperate, grasping at warmth before it was ripped away. I didn't mean to hurt you, I said quietly. Erishaw studied me for a long moment. Then, to my surprise, her anger softened, not gone but tempered. You did not know, she murmured. But ignorance is not an excuse. The lesson, that day, instead of banishing me from her presence, Erishaw did something unexpected. She offered to teach me. Veari do not separate war and love, she explained as we sat across from each other in her private training hall. Both require discipline. Both require patience. Both demand that you understand your partner or you fail. It wasn't just physical training. It was emotional. She taught me to listen, to read the unspoken in her movements, her breaths, her silences. She taught me that pleasure for her people was about balance, not dominance, about shared strength, not one-sided victory. At first, I stumbled. I misunderstood cues, moved too fast, spoke too bluntly. But slowly, I began to understand not just her culture, but her. The second night, when night fell again, there was no anger, no battle. This time, she guided me with quiet words, steady hands, and rare smiles. She showed me what she had meant, what I had failed to grasp before. And for the first time, I felt something beyond need or relief. I felt connection. When morning came, Erishaw did not turn away. She did not say I had used her wrong. She simply rested her forehead against mine and whispered, almost reluctantly, You learned. The aftermath. Peace between our peoples remained fragile. Every day, we walked the edge of war. But something had shifted between her and me, and perhaps between humans and Veari. Because if two sworn enemies could find understanding in each other, could learn not just to fight, but to care, then maybe there was hope for the rest of us too.